So in this video, we will conclude our discussions regarding the Home Rule League. As the popularity of the Home Rule League and the movement grew, it attracted the brashness of the evil government. The government of Madras was the harshest, and it first came out with an order banning students from attending political meetings. Annie Besant, George Arundel, and B.P. Wadia were placed under arrest. We know that as far as Besant's Home Rule League was concerned, it was herself, that is Annie Besant, and George Arundel, who were actually spearheading the movement. Both of them were arrested. Along with those two, even BP Wadia was arrested. Sir S. Subramanya Iyer renounced his knighthood for this because they arrested Annie Besant. Sir S. Subramanya Iyer renounced his knighthood. Moderates like Madan Mohan Malviya, Surendranath Banerjee, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who had stayed away from the Home Rule Leagues, now enrolled as Home Rule Leaguers to record their solidarity with the movement and in condemnation of the wicked government actions. Tilak, as early as 1917, advocated passive resistance and civil disobedience movement if the government refused to release the internees. Even Gandhi began getting involved at this time. He asked Jamnadas Dwarakdas and Shankarlal Banker to collect 1,000 signatures of men willing to defy the government's orders and march to Besant's place of detention. Montague, writing about the situation in India, said this: Shiva cut his wife into 52 pieces, only to discover that he had 52 wives. This is really what happens to the British government in India when it interns Mrs. Besant. All this opposition and festive mood was becoming too dangerous for the British government. Hence, they resorted to the old trick of constitutional reforms. Montague, in August 1917, in what was to be a historic declaration, and mind you, a declaration only, for action that followed it had nothing to do with what the declaration was about. The declaration went something like this: The policy of His Majesty's government is that of increasing association of Indians in every branch of the administration and the gradual development of self-government institutions with a view to the progressive realization of responsible government in India as an integral part of the British Empire. So, in this, what Montague is actually saying is that there will be a gradual inclusion of Indians in the institutions that are governing the people already, and there will be a gradual tilt towards self government also. But all of this will be as part of the British Empire. At no point in time are they talking about independence. They were always talking about delegation of only a few powers under the British rule. This declaration is considered historic for the sole reason that after this, the demand for home rule or self government could no longer be treated as seditious. Why could it not be treated as seditious? Because Montague had himself said that self government was something the British Empire was looking to do in the near future. So, asking for something that the British already wanted to do could not be considered as seditious. Annie Besant was released after the declaration in 1917, and being at the height of her popularity, at Tilak's suggestion, she was elected president at the annual session of the Congress in December 1917. All through our discussions about Home Rule League, you can see that Tilak goes on doing one political masterstroke after another. He has no ego. Tilak is always looking how to maximize the Indian position vis-a-vis the British government. Now, Annie Besant was the first woman president of the Congress, and this happened in 1917. Sarojini Naidu would go on to become the first Indian woman president later on in 1925 at Kanpur. The moderates were once again pacified by the constitutional reforms promised by the Montague Declaration. Remember that this declaration came in 1917 in the midst of World War I, when the British were very, very weak as compared to their previous positions. So they did not want problems in India. India was their crown jewel. If they were to have had problems in India, they might not have been in a position to defend their own home country in Europe and to defend their crown jewel. But they wanted to pacify the congressmen, and hence this declaration was made. As soon as the declaration was made, the Congress softened its position mainly due to the moderates. The moderates were put off by the talk of civil disobedience, and they did not attend the Congress from September 1918 onwards. Besant also vacillated a lot on the question of passive resistance. Tilak, towards the end of the year, had to go to England to pursue a libel case he had filed against Valentine Shirol, author of Indian Unrest, and was away for many crucial months. The absence of Tilak would prove to be a very big blow to the Home Rule League movement. By the end of 1918, the movement was left leaderless, with Besant being unable to give a firm lead in Tilak's absence. The tremendous achievement of the Home Rule movement and its legacy was that it created a generation of ardent nationalists who formed the backbone of the national movement in the coming years, when, under the leadership of the Mahatma, it entered its truly mass phase. The Home Rule Leagues also created organizational links between rural and urban India, which was to prove invaluable in the years to come. If there is one person who could be credited with creating grassroots organizational structures for the national movement and for the Congress, it would be Lokamanya Tilak. The stage was now set for Gandhi to take over. He had familiarized himself with the local villages, and he had begun getting involved through his newspaper Young India in the political debate. He had already made a name for himself as the people's leader by leading the struggles at Champaran Kheda and Ahmedabad. And with this, Gandhi takes over the reins of Indian national movement. This concludes the video. Thank you.